Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
Hey now, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. This is The World According to Rocket. Not the way the world is, not the way the world used to be, but the way the world should be. If only I were king. You know what I'm talking about. So let's talk the AP poll. The top of the AP poll right now is Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. They are undefeated, and they will probably remain undefeated until the college football playoff rolls around. They're not going to lose. They're 8-0 now. They've already beat the only team that could dethrone them in their league because they're in a very weak Big Ten conference. And that was Ohio State a couple weeks ago. They beat them at home, I think 32-31, something like that. 1 or 2 points, they win. Ohio State, by the way, this weekend goes to Penn State and will, I think, knock off Penn State. And Penn State's undefeated at the moment. And we'll see how that goes. I digress. So at the end of the regular college football season, Oregon is going to be number one before the college football playoffs begin, and they will be seeded number one, more than likely, and they will get a bye, and then they will play somebody at their stadium. I think that's how it works. Maybe the second round. No, I think the second round actually is the quarterfinals, and that will be played at a bowl site. Okay. So I thought it might be fun to have a look and see what an Oregon-Tennessee national championship would look like. Because if Oregon continues to win and actually plays in the national championship game, they will either be playing Georgia, Tennessee, or Texas. That's my opinion. All right? And I think Tennessee has as good a chance as anybody getting to that national championship game. Go ahead, call me crazy. Now, if we can get by Georgia, and that is a big if. Look, to go to Georgia and win at Sanford Stadium is as hard for Tennessee as for Alabama to come to Neyland Stadium and win. You feel me? So, but I thought it would be fun. Football Yoda likes some fantasy, and as he says, know the winner, do I? So we're going to look at a fantasy Oregon-Tennessee national championship when we come back right after this message from our good friends at Dockery Destinations.
Meet Deb Dockery, the passionate founder of Dockery Destinations. With a deep love for travel and with years of industry experience, Deb turns your vacation dreams into reality. She's not just planning trips, she's creating unforgettable experiences, personalized to fit your unique style and needs. Whether it's a family getaway or a solo adventure, Deb's expertise ensures every detail is perfect. Ready to explore the world with an expert by your side? Connect with Deb today at DockeryDestinations.com.
Okay, my rapscallions, let's jump into this. Yesterday, you saw, I predicted that Tennessee-Kentucky game, 41-14. That's my prediction for tomorrow. And just for funsies, let me just kind of erase this little bit right there so it's not quite so distracting. Okay, so we have Oregon and Tennessee. So here's what's going to happen. As I've mentioned before, AP, they're going to be number one when the season is over. Oregon is, because they don't play anybody else. They haven't. The only team they've really played this year is Ohio State. They beat them 32-31, something like that, I think. But they're not playing anybody else that's going to really give them a run for their money. So when we look at, they're going to end up being number one at the end of the regular season. Right now, if they were to play today on a neutral field, this is what it would look like. Tennessee's 21-4. Oregon is 21. So that's a half a point favor for Tennessee. And here's what we're doing. Here's why we do this. These are the two things that we have to prove right here. I run these things, when I run these numbers, I look at them as they were horses. I grew up, well, I didn't grow up, but in my young adult life, I got very interested in horses and horse racing and reading a racing form, right? And what I learned was when a horse runs to form, it's going to win 75% of the time. That's what I learned. But there are going to be a lot of things that are going to determine how and when it's going to run to form, right? Some of them you can predict, some of them you cannot. So that is what interests me about handicapping horses and football or baseball or any athletic event, actually. So here's what we know. This is the fact, right? Up until this point, Oregon scores 36 points a game. Tennessee, 34-7 or 35. So they're pretty evenly matched as it sits right here. But here's where the rubber meets the road. Tennessee scores these 34.7 points because their offense is 62% efficient. All right? And what we want to look for, a team that has an edge of offense over the opponent defense. Is that the situation? No. They have a fairly solid defense at 74.1% efficiency. Same token, they score Oregon 36 points a game. They have an 82.9 offensive efficiency. But look here, they're bumping up against a 94% efficiency for the defense that they're playing for Tennessee. So likely both of these teams are not going to put up their numbers, right? They're just not. How do we find out what those numbers are going to be? I'll show you in just a second. So then we move on here. Another big metric is points per play. Oregon scores 5.543 points per play, 69 plays, ends up with 37 points. Tennessee, 475, 73 plays, 34.5 points. So, it's kind of what they say it might be on a neutral field with no other elements involved, with just the metrics. So you have to dig deeper than the metrics to see what they actually mean. Over the years, I have devised a point schedule or a point deduction schedule based on these metrics. For example, what I do is I average every opponent that they play to get, and remember, what we're trying to do is justify these 2 points per game numbers. I average all the teams' defenses that they played to come up with an average defensive efficiency that they scored these points against, right? So Oregon scored 36 points against an average 50.7 defense. That's kind of like in the middle. That's kind of like average, right? Tennessee scored these 34 points, 35 points, with only a 62.6 efficiency. That Arkansas game killed them, in terms of their numbers. But the defenses that they have played are a chunk better in terms of defensive efficiency, right? So I'm liking what I'm seeing here with Tennessee. So we have these numbers over here. And then I look at the discrepancy between what they're going to be facing. Oregon's going to be facing a 93.6 defensive efficiency with Tennessee. But they scored all their points. They scored their points against a 50.7. Now that is 43 digits? That's 43 difference. And what I have learned to do in my methodology is take away a point for every 10 points deficient they are. So we're going to take away 4 points here, because that's what, 43, actually 4.5, maybe 4.3. Yeah, we'll just go 4.3. Right? We're going to take that away from this score, which is going to be about 32, 31. With that extra decimal there, right? And then the same thing on the other side, 74. That's what we're going to be facing against Oregon, but we have scored the 34 points against a higher defensive efficiency, right? And so for that, that's about 20, 19 or 20. I'm going to deduct 1 point per 10, right? And I'm going to take 2 points away from Tennessee. So I ended up with a 32-7-31 game. So it's pretty damn even, right? Now, here's the kicker. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he may be the best, who knows? He's certainly going to be on the Heisman run in December, is Dillon Gabriel, the Oregon coach. Guess who was Dillon Gabriel's first coach? Josh Heupel at Central Florida. Remember that undefeated year that they had? Well, Mackenzie Milton was the quarterback, right? And he sustained that horrific injury. Mackenzie Milton and Dillon Gabriel, both from Hawaii, they were best buds in Hawaii, convinced him to come to Central Florida to play. And he did. And took over. He took over when Mackenzie Milton got hurt. Now, who was the coach? The coach was Coach Heupel. And I was very surprised, really, that when Coach Heupel came to Tennessee, that he didn't bring Dillon Gabriel with him, because he's a very good quarterback. But the point is, who knows how to defend? If there's anybody in this country that knows how to defend and mitigate the skills of Dillon Gabriel, who do you think that would be? Go on. I'll wait. Coach Heupel. So the numbers, bear out that they're kind of even. But this thing right here is huge, I think. He will know how to defend him and know how to mitigate his great skill sets. The edge goes to Tennessee if this game can happen in the Natty Championship. Now, having said that, we got to play Georgia. This won't happen unless we play Georgia and beat them. And that's coming up in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. That's going to be a hard ask for any football team to go to Georgia and beat them. We shall see what happens. I've been talking for a couple of days about what Elon Musk is doing, which is just absolutely fascinating. I've been on the planet a while. I've never seen anything like what is happening with this election and what Elon Musk is doing. Holy crackers. So he's giving away $1 million a day and has been doing so for about 2 weeks now for people who will sign his petition agreeing to support the First and Second Amendments and the rest of the Constitution, but particularly the First and Second Amendment. Free speech, which of course is his reason why he bought Twitter, X, and the Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms, right? Here's another winner. Look at that. Ronald Conwell, $1 million. How did he win it? Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to this website right here, petition.theamericapac.org. You go here and you sign up. Boom, right here. The caveat, you have to live and be registered to vote in either Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina. Okay? These are already the people that have won $1 million a day for the past 2 weeks. There are 5 more days to go. This is November 1st. Election day. It goes through Election day. So if you live in one of these swing states, or you have family or friends, not a bad idea to go ahead and go to this website, petition.theamericapac.org, and sign this petition. Doesn't cost you anything. You just sign it, and you will be put in a random drawing for the $1 million for the next 5 days. Holy crackers. That's just frickin' nuts. Something else I want to show you here. This is Polymarket. And I kind of introduced this on my website yesterday, on this podcast yesterday. It's kind of interesting. No, it's not kind of interesting. It's really interesting. I'm such a technology freak. I love what's going on with technology. So this is a market. Mini market. Markets. Mini markets. There are many markets here that you can buy and sell things. Right? For example, if you believe that that Donald Trump is going to win the presidential election, he's going to become the next president, you can buy one share of that for 60.4%. 4 cents, sorry. 60 cents, essentially, right? And if he wins, you'll be paid $1 for that share. All right? So if you have 10 of those shares, do the math. If you have 1,000 of those shares, do the math. Look. What? All right. I've got to go in here and do the deep dive here. Look at this right here. $2.8 billion has been bet on this so far. What? Are you serious? The hell? That's crazy. Now, it not only applies to the election, right? You can bet Kamala if you want. You can buy her at 39 cents a share, right? If she wins, you get $1 for every share that you spent 39 cents on. Let me go back. And they're just, again, Poly market, a lot of markets, right? Let me, there are all kind of markets here. AFC champion, Stanley Cup champion, Super Bowl champion. For example, check out the Super Bowl. If you believe the Chiefs are at 18%, if you believe that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, I think that'd be a three-peat. I wonder if Tay-Tay will be there. You can purchase a share for 18.7 cents. If they win, you'll be paid $1 for that 18-cent share. Do the math. Now, I just wanted this to be relevant. Let's go to NCAA football. College football champion. Right? Look at here. Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Clemson, Texas A&M, Miami, Tennessee. Tennessee's getting some pretty good action there. $331,000. Georgia, only $149,000. Oregon, $74,000. See, they're kind of knowing what I'm telling you about Oregon. Oregon is just kind of in a sweet spot because they have a suck schedule and a suck conference. Okay? That doesn't mean they don't have skill, they don't have talent. They might have the best quarterback in the country. Kid is good, right? But they just haven't played anybody. They've not battle tested. They played teams on average that are about in the middle of the pack in offense and defense. They've not played somebody like Tennessee. They said, well, they played Ohio State. Ohio State's not nearly as good as Tennessee defensively. Not nearly. Okay, but anyway, that's the point. If you believe Tennessee can win the national championship, check this out. You can buy a share for a nickel. A frickin' nickel. And if they win the Natty, you'll get paid $1 for every share you have. I mean, come on. I mean, that's worth it there. That's worth a hundy right there, just for grins, right? Oh, sometimes I hate this world. Sometimes I love this world, and this is one of the times I love this world. Look at that. That's amazing. You know, or you can bet the other side of it and say, okay, well, I will buy a no. They're not going to do that for 81 cents. And if they don't, you'll win 100. You'll win $1. Is that correct? Yeah, that's how that works. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, amigos, that is all I got. Thank you for supporting the show. Like, share, subscribe, hit me up with a super thanks. Daddy's got to pay the bills to keep the lights on and make this thing roll. Above all else, love you, Vols. Go Big Orange. I'll see you tomorrow as we murder Kentucky.